Reflections of Sandra. My mother was a truly remarkable woman, who even when the odds were stacked against her, won many battles in life. She struggled with various health issues all the way from her early 20s until the day she died at the age of 67, when she finally let go and found a deep sense of peace. She was a true inspiration to me. She showed me what it was like to be brave and have true courage and strength, even in the toughest of situations. She showed me there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Sandra was the best type of parent and role model you could ever want as a child. At least she was in my eyes. She showed me how to live life despite all the challenges she had to face. She was a truly inspirational person. She faced every struggle head-on and with true courage and conviction. She would not give up and always come through in the end. Sandra was amazingly fearless. If she had any fear, she certainly did not show it. Sandra was also my teacher. She taught me that everything in life is very much like one of my favourite quotes, which is, life is not measured by the breath we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. I could never imagine how difficult my journey would become after my mother passed away. In the early days of losing her, I faced an uphill battle and questioned many times why I still existed, and found myself wondering what my purpose now was. I felt complete emptiness and an all-consuming despair that I never felt before. I honestly believed I was nothing without her. And so I refused to take part in life anymore. I could not or did not know how to be happy, even at the simplest of tasks, like watching TV. And in those fleeting moments where I found myself laughing, I made myself stop, since I felt I was being disrespectful to Mum. I barely slept, hardly ate at all, and was living minute to minute, second to second, because that's all I could manage to do. I got to the point in life where I felt like the best thing for everyone was for me to end my own life. You see, in my mind, that was the only solution. It would take the worry and burden away from my family and friends. I figured if I did not exist in the physical sense, then life would be easier for them, and then I could be reunited with my mother. I found that because of my profound grief and depression, not only did I change, but so did my relationship with people. No one knew how to deal with me anymore. I felt like to others, it was easier to pretend that I did not exist. As a result, I quite literally shut myself down, and I put an emotional wall up to protect myself from any further hurt. If I still existed, then it was easier to pretend I didn't. I could not see a way forward or a way out of what I was experiencing or feeling, and I guess on some level, I didn't want to feel okay either. It is difficult to imagine surviving such extreme grief, much less transcending this grief. I mean, how does one triumph over sorrow when you cannot imagine the pain ever going away? Let me tell you, it is possible. I survived, and while that grief initially broke me, I've since discovered the courage to come back and live life fully in a way that my mother would have wanted me to. Back then, I just didn't realize the strength that was in me all along, and I wasn't ready to feel okay. When you find the courage to confront your grief and whatever else is going on, only then you can opt to survive and transcend that pain. If you decide to do this, you'll have the ability to see that that loss had a specific purpose. You'll have the opportunity to turn this crisis into a way of learning, evolving, and finding peace, both spiritually and emotionally. So now you have a choice. You can either withdraw from life like I did, or you can choose to learn and grow from the experience. You can choose to feel okay again. Ultimately, the only person who can make this choice is you. Through the heartbreak, the turmoil of losing my mum, I learned so much about myself and life in general. My hope for each of you reading my story is that you can find the hope and courage that is within you, and that through your pain, you will come to realize your true purpose in life. Every dark moment hides an incredible lesson. Each and every one of us is an infinite and beautiful creature just waiting to remind what our unique gifts are. On November 23rd, 2016, I was diagnosed with MS, a condition that has no cure, and is like living with an invisible disease. You see, while I look normal on the outside, on the inside there's a lot going on underneath. After a second relapse of my MS back in late February and in being in hospital for 5 weeks, I was told I had breast cancer, but at this stage it is too small to treat, so it is a watch and wait situation. For a lot of people, this might turn their world upside down, but not for me. I'm of the mindset that these challenges are here to teach me something that is valuable. Life is precious, and I play a vital and important role to heal the world from grief and empower people to transcend their challenges and purpose. My hope is that you find the ability through my story to transcend your pain and grief. This is the first time I've actually spoken about this in front of everyone outside my lawn, so I'll have to bear with me. My mum passed away of single-cell metastatic cancer. It was like Black Saturday through her body. So she had 2 tumours that were inside of her head, which were the secondary, that were actually growing outside of her head, and then she had a primary somewhere in her body. The thing that always amazes me is that we didn't know she was sick. She had no headaches, no pain, no nothing. The only thing we knew was the little lump that was on her head. And after 2 doctors said it was nothing, that's when she got diagnosed. The day that she went to the doctors, I had a sixth sense that day my life was going to change. I just didn't know how it was going to change. I'm someone that's a bit of a control freak. I like to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. And when we got the news that she had less than 12 months, but it was only 3 months, or in the end it was 2 weeks, I thought I could control it all and I'd be fine. Within 2 weeks, yep, no worries, I'll go back to work. It'll be easy, because I've been essentially grieving for my mother ever since I was 10, because she was sick all my life. So when, as you saw and as you heard, when she did die, it hit me like a freight train. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know how to deal with it. You know, there were times where I couldn't get through a single second of the day without crying, without being with my family, without being with my niece and nephew. And I didn't, as you said, I didn't want to, because I didn't know what to do. Even the simple task of going on medication to try and help with that, I felt ashamed of, because I felt like I disappointed her. Because I felt like I disappointed her because I couldn't save her from dying too. She'd saved me so many times that the one time that she needed me, I couldn't save her. So there was a lot going on for me when she died. And it wasn't until I really sat in it, and I wrote my book, which is available here tonight, Reflections of Sandra, that I really understood everything. I understood her, I understood myself, I understood our relationship, I understood why it was so profound. You know, basically it was so profound from even the moment that I was born, because I nearly died as a baby, and that's why she was so protective of me, and that just enhanced our relationship. And I realised that if it wasn't for the fact that I sat in my grief and I wrote about it, that I really learnt the lessons. And I really learnt the lessons of it's okay to grieve and be upset. I mean, I lost a lot of friends during the grieving process and my depression. I mean, I had friends break up with me, so to speak, via text message because they didn't know how to deal with me, as I said. It was really quite a enlightening experience looking back now because I weeded out, as I like to say, the weak and pathetic that didn't know how to deal with life. And the real people started to step forward, and it's the same with my MS and my own cancer. The real people are coming forward. The people that are meant to be in my life are coming forward now to support me in my own journey. And that's, you know, the ironic thing, I guess, that I wouldn't have learnt that lesson if she hadn't died. I wouldn't be here now if she hadn't died. I wouldn't have written the book if she hadn't died. So it's an interesting, you know, balance. As much as I would love to have her here, she can't be, because I can't live my purpose and do what I want to do, and that's continue to speak and share my story and make people less ashamed of being grief, less ashamed of being depressed, because that's a stigma in society, right? You know, it's 5 steps and you're all good. Well, that's not the case, and so that's okay, and that's what I want to do, is help people be okay with that, be okay with dealing with whatever they're dealing with and getting through that, and hopefully supporting them to find that light at the tunnel that I found. Because my life couldn't be more, as odd as it sounds, couldn't be more fulfilled, even though I'm going through what I'm going through, because I'm learning so much through this journey. I'm meeting people, I'm having opportunities like this. Sam doesn't know this, but the day that I was diagnosed with breast cancer was the day that I submitted the article to him. That's where we connected, with when I was in hospital with my second MS relapse. You know, there's a certain beauty in that. There's a balance. You know, while there's something bad going on, there's always a balance of something else that's going to come in that's going to balance that and make it okay. And that's what I always look for. Like I've had the unique opportunity, I guess, of everything that's going on, good or bad. I don't see it as a negative anymore. I can always go, okay, well, this is not great, but what am I meant to learn from this? And usually it's, for me, in a different way of, you know, writing another book or blog article, or I've written a blog article about my MS to empower women to be comfortable in their own skin and comfortable in, you know, what they're going with, whether it's weight issues or a health issue, you know, another sort of health issue. And that's what I'm meant to do. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that, you know, unfortunately Mum had to pass away for me to step forward, you know, take stage. But I know that she's living her purpose in heaven, because her light was too bright for here. So that's my lesson for everyone here tonight, is to always look for that light, because no matter how bad you think it is, it's not, you know, there's always a beauty in there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.